guys, Doug with the Nomadic Rifleman here. So we're going to talk about keeping warm or emotionally warm in your cold weather environments when you're being active today. This will be part of a 4-part series where we're going to go over this video, which is keeping comfortable in cold environments when you're being active, keeping warm when you're in cold environments and you're being inactive, keeping comfortable when you're moving or being active in extreme cold environments, i.e. anything below 0, and then keeping warm in environments where it's extreme cold and you're being inactive. Alright, we'll edit that part out so that you don't have to sit there and wait for me. Alright, anyway, so again, we're going to go into the COLD acronym. So that's keep clean, let's try that again. Keep clean, avoid overheating, dress in loose layers, and stay dry. Alright guys, really simple stuff. You want to keep clean so that your insulating garments can do their job. You know, avoid overheating so that you don't get everything wet from the inside out and start soiling those garments, and then that's getting you colder later, not letting your garments do your job. And then additionally, in extreme cold, that sweat can freeze, right? You want to dress in loose layers so that you can put into action the acronym DAM. That was done by Nut and Fancy. Dead air management. I really like that because that's really what you're doing. You're kind of damming up that nice warm air to your body, and then you're going to manage that, right? So dead air management, because you don't want to get over hot and you don't want to get under hot. So loose layers, all right? Air management. And then finally, avoid getting wet. So stay dry, okay? C.o.l.d, keeping clean, avoiding overheating, loose layers, stay dry. Really simple stuff, guys. You follow that and flex it around your situation, you'll stay warm. You need to get out there and get your grow your experience in it in whatever conditions you might find yourself, whether that be cold, hot, whatever. You need to get out there and grow your experiences so that you can kind of hold on to that and have your systems dialed in. So right now, since I'm being active, I'm wearing pretty light stuff. I'm wearing a simple outer shell to keep that wind from sucking away the air I want. And then I have a garment that I can flex. So I can take this, I can open up my pits, and you can create holes for the air to steal away some of that warmth if you need it to, all right? And again, that comes down to your management. That comes down to your management so that you can manage that dead air and whether or not you want to get it away from you because you're overheating, or you want to keep it close to you because you're getting cold, right? And you want to be able to flex that around, all right? You want to keep your, and then another tip, so tip 1, follow the COLD acronym. Tip 2, when you start stepping out to be in the outdoors in cold environments, when you're you're gonna be active, you want to be a little bit chilly when you step off, okay? Whether you're stepping off to go backpacking or stepping outside to go cut wood, but you're gonna be working up a sweat, you're gonna be working hard. You want to be a little cold when you step off, all right? So if it's 20 degrees and you step off and you're like, man, I'm a little chilly right now, that's good. If you know you're about to be moving, that's perfectly okay. Because that little bit of cold for that first half mile is way better than a lot of cold, because you stepped off warm and you overheated and you started sweating, and then when you stopped and you got to a position where you're going to be static, the sweat started to freeze and your layers weren't doing their job and you started getting cold, and now you're 15 miles back there or whatever you're doing, and you're starting to become a issue. You're starting to have problems, and you have the potential of becoming a casualty and maybe worse, right? So you want to start off a little bit cold if you know you're going to be active. So keep that in mind, guys. You're not necessarily trying to be warm. You're trying not to be you're trying to not be cold, right? Not trying to be warm, trying not to be cold. And then you need to find that balance in between and kind of keep it there throughout your activities, right? Because even if we think we're going to be out there and staying active the whole time, so that little bit of sweat's fine, that's sometimes not the case. Sometimes you can go out, think you're only going to be out for a few minutes. Come. Good girl. Good girl. Sometimes it's not the case, right? Sometimes you go out there thinking you're only going to be out there for like a couple hours, and you're going to be active the whole time, and you're out there, you're working up a sweat and everything, and then you fall, break your ankle, and you're stranded 4 miles back and you're sweating. That's not good. That's extremely dangerous, right? So if you're going to be in these cold environments, you really want to be keeping that COLD acronym in mind, even if you only think you're going to be out there for a short period of time, because things can change. And if things change in cold weather, things can get really dangerous really fast. So again, so tip 1, keeping the COLD acronym in mind. Tip 2, step off a little bit cold so you can avoid overheating, and keeping that COLD acronym in mind, that helps, all right? Tip 3, always be willing to flex the system a little bit, all right? If it's 5 degrees and you're starting to sweat in the head, take off your hat, man. Take your hat off, stow it in a pocket, you know, take off your neck covering. Let that thing, you know, cool off a little bit. That's okay. Avoid that overheating for sure. You really don't want to have that happen, guys. Do not think you can't flex those loose layers around. If you're starting to work up a sweat and you need to downgrade, or you're getting really cold and you need to upgrade, it's perfectly fine to take a second to upgrade, downgrade, especially if you're still zeroing in your system and you don't quite know what that's going to be yet. Get out there, get that experience, figure out where you need to be, so that next time when you step off, you know, okay, hey, 2 miles into this movement, my head's gonna start getting sweaty, so I need to keep that in mind, so I can take my hat off and keep on going with the things, so that I can avoid that overheating, so I can avoid becoming a casualty down the road, right? So that's tip 3. Tip 4 is to get out there, guys, and start growing this experience, right? You can't know how to set these systems up if you haven't gotten out there and done it. You can't just look at me and how I'm dressed and then just copy that and expect it's gonna work for you, right? Because I'll tell you right now, if I do more than a 400 meter movement right now, I'm gonna start shedding. I'm gonna be opening up pits. I'm gonna be taking this thing off. I'm gonna be fanning off the head a little bit, keep myself nice and dry. These things flex, and they flex constantly, right? So you need to get out there and maintain that and start building that experience base so you can make these decisions on your own. So that when you look at a situation, you know what stuff you need to bring, and you know what stuff you don't need to bring, more importantly, all right? So guys, really get out there and start growing that experience base so that you can start developing your own opinions, so that you can come in and weigh in with to help some of these people out that haven't gotten out there yet, right? Hey guys, sorry about the background noise. It is what it is. I forgot something earlier in the video. So last tip, keep in mind anything that you use chemical-wise is going to affect your body by constricting blood vessels and the way that your body is distributing warm blood. So any caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, anything like that is going to change how your body acts and make you at a higher chance for cold weather injury. Obviously, you saw I was drinking coffee earlier in this episode, so I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying be mindful of the decisions you're making, and do so responsibly in a way that is educated, so that you can make sure you're not doing anything to increase your risks of being a cold weather casualty, or you're mitigating those risks if you're choosing to do so. All right. So if you found this information helpful, please share, subscribe, like, all that stuff. It really helps out a lot. This has been Doug with Pneumatic Rifleman, because everywhere there's good and capable riflemen capable of operating within their local environments. Y'all have a blessed day.